didn't shoot cocaine till I came to prison. I didn't dump pills till I came to prison. I didn't shoot speed till I came to prison. I didn't snort dope, shoot dope, no hard drugs till I came to jail.
Whether you snort it, eat it, shoot it, you can do it by osmosis, DMSO. Just throw a bag there and just slap it on and go. You're ready.
If I swallow some dope or something, all I gotta do is stick my finger up my throat like this here, and I vomit it up.
Drugs are in jails, drugs are in the streets. They're never gonna stop drugs.
Do it, I tell you.
Nobody could convince me that there's a county jail, a prison, a juvenile detention center, or any other place where you have drug addicts locked up, that there's not drugs in the facility. There is no such place.
Unnecessary. No reason to grab him, man.
Just one out.
Turn around your hands, man.
Turn around.
There's no reason for your hands.
Okay?
Three words put it best, and that's search, search, and search.
Nuts. Turn around. Lift your legs. Spread them. Take your chest.
When they usually transport narcotics, it's usually, if it's heroin or cocaine, something that they're afraid they'll be indicted for, it's carried in their mouth so they can swallow it, or they carry it in their anal cavity.
So, I mean, does that mean you guys have got to actually reach up there to find it?
No, we're not allowed to do that.
Up there, we'll never get it. They know it. That's why they'll put it there.
Howie Mandel got his story.
Not to become a fool. Don't be a sucker like us.
Step in here.
The only way you're going to find drugs is to look for them. They're not going to come to you. If you put in the time, you're going to find drugs. I don't know. There's a number, like every 10th frisk, every 8th frisk is going to result in seizure of contraband. And the more you frisk, the sooner you get to that magic number.
Bingo! Here you go, Sarge. Got one here.
And that's it. That's it.
Bring him out back. Too many people. One right there. Cuffs on. Cuffs. All right, it's cuffed. Get him out of the hall. Get out.
I don't have it in my mouth.
Spit it out.
Man. It was a bag of weed, man.
All right, lift him up.
Bag of weed?
Lift him up. Lift him up. Turn him around. Turn him. Let me see his mouth. Turn him around. Open your mouth. Tongue down. All this for a bag of weed?
It's all right. He bought it anyway because he hit me.
I didn't hit you, sir.
What do you got? Keep it in your possession. Keep it in his possession. Take him to one left.
Thank you.
Joe, we hit you? Step off.
No, he didn't touch me.
Step off. Step off.
Somebody else take him.
Step off. Take him to the hole.
I've been selling drugs in prison ever since I've been to prison. Ain't never got caught. This is my cell, this is how I live. Basically, these are my clothes, these lockers with my clothes in. I try to make myself comfortable as possible. This is like my second home. You know, so I have to, so I have to make it comfortable as possible, so as though that I won't feel uncomfortable. Well, when I first came here, drugs was very popular here. It was easy to survive in here, basically it was on the streets. I say approximately a week you can make $3,500 to $4,000 a week in here. A week.
In prison?
In prison. Because anything that's sold on the street for $10 triples in here. See, if you get a bag of heroin may cost you $10 on the street, but it costs you $40 in here.
How do you get it in?
Well, it could come through the visitor. People packs it. You have guys that put up in their anus, put up in their ass, and brings it in. And God may give them 2 bags or 3 bags for bringing it in. The visitors is bringing it. Then you have some police that's down with some of the guys that's cool, they know from the street, that may bring it in. Because everybody's trying to get a piece of the pie.
Okay, with this open, and when you have it open, you are to hold it under here like so. And I would tell you to start, and don't shove it up. Don't use your other hand. Make believe it's not even with you. Okay? And don't stop till I tell you to stop. That's good. Place it up here. Okay, fold your pants.
Open 14, Company. Open 14. All this stuff here, this came from one husband. You know what I'm saying? So they take care of homosexuals in jail. You know what I'm saying? Because the simple fact is, right, if you get a man, he gonna take care of you. You might take care of him sexually, wash his clothes or whatever, cook for him and everything, right? I do what they call house duty like a real wife do. I do that in jail. I cook for him. I wash the man's clothes, underwear, drawers, whatever need to be done, right? I also cut my husband's hair. Sex for drugs is just like sex on the street for drugs, like a hooker on the corner or whatever, right? She gonna either get money or either she gonna get drugs from it, you know what I'm saying? Performing sex in jail is an everyday activity.
Well, there's various ways that you can move things in terms of making money in the yard, selling drugs. If you look over to the yard, you can see guys just walking around, leisurely walking around. You can see guys huddled up. You can even see guys playing ball or lifting weights, and all the time.
How many people are taking drugs in a prison like this?
I would say about 75%. 75% of the prisons is getting high.
How do people pay?
They pay the best way they can. When you say how people pay, I mean, you know, how would you pay? How would you pay if you owed me money and you was in prison and you was scared for your life? You pay the best way you knew how. You would call your people, get my money, get me some money down here. You would find family from somewhere to get you some money down here. And if you couldn't do that, then you become something like a jail slave. Every time you get paid, it go to me until I feel as though the debt is paid. If it wasn't for drugs in this prison, you have a lot of more violence going on. Ain't nothing in here. Ain't nothing in here. So when you got anger and frustration and prison and time, that's going to breed violence. So now when you got a little something that's going to sedate the violence, they should be lucky guys like me is inside the penitentiary.
Okay, put that down, stand up against the wall.
When a new jack come in prison, right, he don't have no imagination what's going on in prison. He don't understand who's who, what's what, right? Most all young guys come in prison, they will try to find a homosexual first to find out who got the drugs, who to talk to, who not to talk to, you know, which back swings to move on, right? In certain jails, you have a lieutenant standing up there, and when guys come in, everybody's standing up there and they point down, yeah, that young motherfucker's mine, that's mine.
Close one.
I talk to a lot of them because I'm on the reception side, right? And I see the fear in them, so I know, right, I can give them to a shark or a barracuda. If I sell a guy, believe me, I'm gonna get something out the deal. First of all, right, if he's a newcomer, right, I want him to suck my ass with jelly, what they call tossing salad. That's the slang word, tossing salad. It means sucking my ass, right? With jelly or without jelly. Some people use syrup. I prefer a guy to use jelly, right? I will reach my climate, right? I will automatically get hard, right? I will, you know, come automatically if he's sucking my ass for about 10 minutes or longer, right? It's a sensation feeling, and it makes you feel real good. Most all gays do that, you know what I'm saying? Like guys to suck their ass. It's just like a pussy, right? But the only difference is it's not a pussy, right? It's clean, the person is decent, and the person know that that's an asshole, but in mind he's looking at it as a pussy because he's in prison. So, toss my salad, let him eat me, you know, and we straight, that's it.
As you noticed, when we walked out here, that wall was full of people. And as soon as we came out, everybody started disappearing. They were probably doing a lot of dealing out there when we walked out. And when they seen us, they beat feet because they don't want to see, us to observe who's with who.
I've seen a few guys fall off of those benches doing bags, fall over, guys will help them up. One of the first reactions when they sniff heroin seems to be immediately to vomit. The stronger the quality of the heroin is, the worse reaction, I guess, to the stomach it has. And guys will be vomiting all over the place when they do this stuff.
They seem very happy when they vomit. It's a strange vomit. They'll be vomiting, they'll jump up and go, they're all happy. Like that was a good bag.
We just finished ripping a bag open. Right around the corner where everybody left from when we came out.
No, we'll play for a couple packs of cigarettes. We'll play for a few packs.
We're about to cigarettes. I'm about to cigarettes.
Why not? Fuck, we ain't playing for nothing. The administration will tell you themselves that they think I'm the #1 guy in the whole jail selling guns. Even with the sports, they think I'm the guy that runs all the sports. Who cares what they think? They gotta catch me with it.
5, 4, 5, 6. Officer Moreland.
How many you gonna take?
5, 6.
You only gotta take 7, yeah.
That's what I got. They can never stop drugs, gambling, none of that. It's impossible. They can try. They try. Jesus Christ, if you go out in the trailer, wherever they put all their drugs, you know what you'll find? Did they ever show you the drugs that they seize off people on here? I wish I can get my hands on it.
This here is a deck of heroin. This is listed as people killer. This guy happened to get caught with 7 decks, which is a rather large amount for an inmate to be walking around in prison with. Usually they'll take one, either for themselves. I mean, this guy was obviously going to pass this off you know, he was going to transport it to other inmates who had probably already purchased the narcotics.
Most of the time, money's not exchanging hands inside the prison. It's going street to street, which makes it very difficult for us to try to track it down. For example, an inmate will use a cigar case, commonly known as a plug. And you can imagine how much cocaine or heroin could fit into there. They would insert that into their rectum, and they could walk around the prison with that until they decide they need to take it out. The most hazardous thing in prison life is being debt over drugs. They can get you killed or raped, one or the other. You can't pay. I had one opportunity where 3 guys, 2 of them owed me money, right? So I knew I couldn't get them together. So what I did, I got one day on a Saturday. I sucked his dick in the closet. You know what I'm saying? I sucked his dick. You know, I had his pants down. He helpless. That's it. He's helpless, right? His dick hard. I'm sucking on it, right? I came right up and I cut him. And that's why I left the man in the closet. He didn't tell, but he couldn't explain. How could he explain that a fag was sucking his dick and come up and cut him? He couldn't explain that. There's no way in hell he could explain it to the administration.
As a matter of fact, we're missing one of these again from last Sunday night from one of the audits we did on the kitchen utensils. So we got the first shift looking for it to just remind Bergen and them that another spoon is out there, man. I hate to see it wind up in somebody's back, especially ours.
I tell on people, that's my job. Straight up. No sugarcoating, I tell on them.
You got stool pigeons everywhere. And when we trying to do business, they running back telling the man. We find out who told. We let them go run and tell again. When they come back, their house burned up.
What goes through my mind is, damn, you know, like, if they ever found out, you know what would happen, right? But that's what, you know, that's what makes me good at what I do.
You have things they call dugouts or blind spots. Whereas I'm saying sooner or later he got to come through this particular spot. Or you may get a person to set him up to get him in that position. Whereas the way you can set him up to get him. So it's not hard to kill a person in prison and get away with it.
If I wasn't a good actor, right, then I'd be out there. Because it's all about the game and it's all about acting. Because if I wasn't acting or putting on a show or anything like that, they could see right through that.
He'll play anybody, including us if we would let him, to further his own aims, which usually revolve around drugs.
A drug addict he'll do anything to continue what he's doing. That's his main function. That's what he's got blinders on like a horse. Is that buy for this weekend coming up?
Yes. Yeah. It's gonna be good because right now it's like a little shortage now, you know. And the guy that you know that's gonna have it, you know, he gonna make a certain amount of money off it, and then you know he's gonna buy more. This week is 3 bundles, you know, and
he'll turn it around next week.
Yeah, he'll turn it around, but
we ain't gonna let that happen because we're gonna get him this weekend, right?
That's what I'm saying. You know, so it's gonna be even dry. So everybody's gonna be trying to, you know, get as much as they can.
So as soon as he breaks it out from the vault, you're gonna let me know?
Without a doubt. I call on emergency number. Yeah, he turned it around, but
we ain't gonna let that happen because we're gonna get him this weekend, right?
That's what I'm saying. You know, so it's gonna be even dry. So everybody's gonna be trying to, you know, get as much as they can.
So as soon as he breaks it out from the vault, you're gonna let me know?
Without a doubt. I call on emergency number.
And then we'll hit him.
That's it.
All right.
Ballsy, how are you? Sick cell?
From that point of reach my destination, with a destination reaching out of east attention, with a new dummy fun, still got me once I'm so informer. You know, say that I'm a snowman, I go glam. I keep boom boom down. Take them on the city, then I'm a snowman, stop somewhere down the lane. I keep boom boom down.
Phone call we got earlier from the nice man. He directed us to this gentleman's cell, at which time Lieutenant Pascucci discovered 11 decks of suspected white powder, suspected to be heroin. The drug gods were with us.
Yeah, very good.
This is as good as it gets. This is as good as it gets.
We battle it in here from two sides. We battle it by trying to keep it out. By the same token, we try over the years to come up with some kind of drug counseling programs to help guys that are in here. But it's very tough to do in a setting like this. Very difficult to do. I haven't seen or heard of a drug program in a facility like this that works very well anywhere. If anybody knows of one, let me know.
The drug program, there are no guarantees, Mr. Avonio. There's no guarantees in the street. And for anyone to expect guarantees from in here is wrong.
A lot of prisoners, you know, got drug problems. When they get the opportunity where they could be be incarcerated and be in a drug program, that's a benefit for the prisoner.
What kind of man do you want to deal with once he comes back out to society? You see, people are quick to say, yeah, well, keep him in there. Don't give him nothing. You know what I mean? And they're happy with that. But as soon as that individual that comes out, worse than he was when he came in, and he's got all that bitterness, and he's still got that drug problem, you know what I mean, amongst everything else, then he gets out to society, and if he even tries to make it, the first door that slams in his face sets the bomb off.
Sitting in a jail cell, damn, I wanna go home. Every day I find myself in a cell alone. I did a crime, now I'm down doing hard time. I'm 22 and I'm about to go out of my mind. Society thinks that prison is rehabilitative, but they don't know that prison is degenerative. Mom said slow down, but I had to move fast. It's not a fault that I was living like a jackass. Let me out, let me out. Let me out, let me out. Let me the fuck out. Give us another chance. I wanna be free. Oh, please.
I had a daughter who was 15, and I always felt that there was something I wanted to do that was better. And I had an opportunity to move to the West Coast again, but I didn't have the money. And when a relative of mine asked me to help in a drug deal, as it's called, I thought of it as being a way out, a way to make a couple $1,000s, and that would transport me to a better life. And instead I ended up in Bedford Hills.
I was accused of selling crack to an undercover police officer.
Way back in when?
I was here for a burglary third for stealing from my habit of crack cocaine.
Have you ever been in prison before?
No.
Have you ever been in prison before?
No.
What has your prison experience been like so far?
Scary, very scary. One, looks like it's going to be tough. It's a long road.
Did you ever think your drug habit would lead you into prison?
No, I thought we'd get away with it forever. It seemed like it never stopped. I thought it was just a fun thing to do for a while. And then when you're done partying, it'd be over. It's not like that at all. Me crying, I don't even cry. Enough of that.
It's not as bad as it seems. They make it out to be a lot worse. And it's scary, because anything that you don't know is scary. But believe me, it's not as bad as it seems. Don't cry now. You didn't even get nowhere yet.
I know. It's just awful. Oh, man, it's scary.
It's scary. Everything's scary. Were you scared when you were out there doing drug stuff?
Hell no.
Okay, then. So, you know what I'm saying? It can't be no more scary than the life you was living on the street.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? I wasn't scared when I put the gun to the motherfucker's head and told him, give me all your money. You know what I'm saying? Don't be scared now. You wasn't scared when you was out there in Bronx copping motherfucking based on the corner. Don't be scared now. You know what I'm saying? Don't, now
yeah,
it's
but I
not
was high then. I ain't high now.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Dealing with the streets is a lot different, ain't it, bud?
Sure is. I keep saying you take your show, you gotta constantly keep watching your back. And
That's not true.
I
don't
didn't think
believe
it was
No
all
gay
that.
woman is gonna bother you if you don't want to be bothered.
That's what I thought.
Believe
That's
that. If you're not into it, they are not gonna bother you. So all that shit that people fill your head with, don't even run it. I've been gay for 11 years, and I'm here to share with you that no gay woman is gonna bother you if you don't want to be bothered.
That's your preference. I mean, that doesn't bother me in the least. You know, it's just I don't want it forced.
I got my wife's name on my chest. I'm not trying to be with nobody else.
On me. That's all. I don't want nothing forced on me.
Yeah, no, nothing will be forced. Believe me, if you're doing a lot of time, don't think you won't ever get with it. But
right?
Are you gonna still get high in jail?
I don't know. I might.
Are you?
I honestly don't know.
It's here.
As soon as I smell it, that'd be it. It'd be over.
That's why a lot of people don't make it on the street, neither.
I think it's just making them tougher and tougher people. I think prison changes a person entirely. You never come out the same, that's for sure. I can't imagine. I mean, just spending 3 months in jail, I'm not the same person I was when I went in there.
And now...
I'm here because I was transporting drugs from Colombia to here. I'm not nobody. I don't have no money, no business. They are who they have the business and the big drugs and all those things. And who are getting busted are us, the small people.
On the count, knock it down.
Being apart from my children. That's why it breaks my heart apart. That's the hardest thing that I have to deal with every day. Every day that I wake up and I remember all the things that my daughter said to me. And when I talk to my son, the way one day he said to me, it was his birthday, and he said to me that he invited this person, and I said, who else? And he said, oh, I also invited my mother. And I said, yeah, who is your mother? And he said, nobody.
I'm a woman and I'm a mother. When I got in the system, I was stripped from all pride, There's no pride left. You're stripped of every piece of clothing. You squat, you cough, you spread, you're told when to get up, you're told when to go eat, you're told what to wear. You quit thinking for yourself. And unless you can build a friendship to be able to express this, to get some warmth, some sense of family, unity, some kind of security, you just keep dying every day a little more. You keep going inside yourself.
You know, the ones that walk around.
Oh, the stud bras.
Yeah, the studs. Grabbing their crotches.
Yeah.
Flexing their muscles.
Yeah, you gotta
the one
look
that
twice
thinks they're
some
really men, you know?
Some of them look like men. When I first went in, I would see all these old women, you know, in wheelchairs and just, there's a lot of women here that you look at them and you can't help but wonder why they're here. Drugs have been used for as long as there's been a culture. There's been drugs involved one way or another. Even if you eliminated everything that we have right now, they would come up with something new tomorrow, because that, I mean, if you watch little kids spin and spin and spin until they fall down. You know, it's our nature to want to alter our consciousness.
Yeah. I mean, you know what I think about a lot? About if my parents die before this is resolved. I got hooked on cocaine, on smoking cocaine. I tried it a few times, it got me. It has fingers, it grabs you, and it doesn't let you go. After the trial, I was made out to be Escobar instead of this little person that had an 8-ball or a 16th here or there and sold it amongst her friends just so I could get a hit, because sometimes that's what you had to do. Right. Yep. It's a sad thing, and I'm home.
Yeah.
I'll see you.
Well, all right. Be good.
Later, Tater.
Sweet dreams.
The sentences that they're giving us are a waste. I was willing to accept my role for breaking the law, but I didn't feel that it deserved the length of time that they were going to be putting me away. I had not done things in my life that warranted that kind of a penalty.
How did you explain it to your daughter?
When it happened, I didn't say anything to her. I kept it from her as long as I could. And when the time came closer to the trial, I went into her room and I told her that I had been very stupid. And that there was a good chance that I was going to be going away for a long time. And I don't think she understood then what I meant, but she knew that there was some seriousness to what I was saying. You say words to kids. And even though I hoped that the outcome would be different, I told her this before I went to trial, because I felt certain that it was going to be a done deal. I really didn't want it to do this. I really felt that I could have done something else to pay, even if it included doing time in prison. That the amount of years, a few years, yes, you've been very bad, you've done something wrong, it is serious. There's a problem in society, and by your actions you're contributing to it. But there must have been something I could have done that was better.
The war on drugs is a failure and a success. And it's a failure in that it's not stopped drug use in this country. A miserable failure. But it's a great success because it's the best economic boom that we have ever seen. It's provided jobs for people like me, for policemen, for lawyers, for judges, people that make guns and belly chains, people that run prisons now. We're private prison industry. It's a boom.
Each one of these little things right here is worth $5 green. Hold up, dude.
The house with now one out like we don't know. Get rid of the evidence.
But it's all over this penitentiary.
It's money. It's money. That's what it is. It's money. It's money. People in here, it's money. You know, that's how people support their family.
I've been doing dope I've been selling dope since I was 22, okay? 14 years. I didn't think I was going to get caught either, man. And if I wouldn't have been under the influence of methamphetamine, I wouldn't have got caught. But I went to mixing hard drugs with my marijuana, and I don't see anything wrong at all with marijuana. But as far as hard drugs, yeah. Like methamphetamine, crank,
Why
cocaine.
is crank so big in Oklahoma? You don't hear about it in New York. What's the crank culture?
It's an easy drug to make. You got the chemicals, you can cook it up in 2 or 3 days. And it's a quick turnover.
Fast money.
It's a fast turnover. You have these meth monsters, prankster gangsters. I mean, guys, I went on just to go on runs in my 20s from doing it 15, 20 days without sleep, sticking a needle in your arm. And you do some crazy shit.
I'm the best methamphetamine producer that they have anywhere in this part of the Bible Belt. I would have 2 55-gallon drums, and I would pull a lawn chair in the middle, and I would stack Budweiser this high, and I would have 2 titty dancers dancing on the table, stripping and having a good time, and I would start drinking beer, and the mixture would be in here ready to go except for the aluminum, and I would drink the beer and drop 1 aluminum can in this side and 1 in this side and continue until the bubbles started jumping out of the can and started tearing the skin off of you. And then I would move my chair back to the second 55-gallon drum, and you make about 600 pounds in 2 55-gallon drums, and that's $9 million.
$9 million.
$9 million.
What does it do to you? I feel like a wild buffalo out on the prairie, ready to go, running around going wild, and all kind of sexual things running through your mind, and you want to try them all at one time. One day, I had this girl bent over the toolbox in the back of a pickup, and she was screaming, "More, baby, more, baby, more." We passed by this buffalo. He had a dong about this long, nearly hanging to the ground. I screamed at him and said, "Hey, how about some help over here? She wants more." She looked over at the buffalo, and she said, "Oh, I'd never leave you if you had that." I said, "Damn." So, I mean, I was pounding her. You know, I had 200 pounds of jackhammer ass running like a pneumatic hammer on her, man, and I couldn't just do enough for her. She was trying to kill me.
I understand that there was some amphetamine or something that came in, and some of you were pretty well screwed up. I cannot continue to get it shoved up my ass, you know what I'm saying? And you're a shoving. I think some of you come into prison and just think that you're supposed to do drugs, and I think some staff believe the same way. I think they think that that's just what prison is. We've got the assholes of the world. Why shouldn't they continue to act like assholes?
It's an addiction that, you know, that came with me from the streets. You know, out there when I was robbing drugstores, you know, I wasn't robbing drugstores to try to make a lot of money or anything. I was robbing them because I had a habit. I'd rob, and then I'd go to a hotel or motel or somewhere and do them. You know, it wasn't like I was out there trying to make a lot of money on it. And it's the same thing here. You know, I'm not trying to make any money on anything in here. I'm just, you know, I use. That's, you know, that's where I'm at.
Well, drugs is killing us, and before we can get on with any programs to talk about getting you prepared for those that are going to get out and anytime soon, and for you, I mean, the longer you stay in the penitentiary, the more of an animal people become. You know that.
And the dude was trying to go back. Yeah, you trying to climb this tower. You trying to climb this tower.
How many of you are here because of drugs?
You know, probably everybody.
Yeah. Everybody does drugs, man.
This is overcrowded. Fault lines in the building, 2 inches of paint. If it does catch on fire, we're all dead. There's no sprinkler system, none of that. It's just pretty well beat. And they've got people that are in here for 2 years, minimum 2 years. No security points out here with killers, you know, that are never getting out. Guys with 3, 4 life sentences, never getting out.
My biggest fear of being in this place isn't, you know, getting out alive is something too, but it's nothing. You don't have to do anything to become a victim, and there's no one man strong enough to come against a group of 5 or 6. And if somebody gets a wild idea in their mind that they want to do something obscene or what have you to you, there's nothing I can do if they catch me in the wrong spot at the wrong time.
Here's a look, I say, like, I rock in the south, I raise a big old big spot. But I'm not tight to go out like a fool, but I'd rather play low key than walk my suit up. When you get souped up, you're subject to it all. You could fight in the wreck yard, they die in the mess hall, so take it from me, cause I'm living proof, I'm living proof, I'm living proof. Ooh, I'm living proof. Look what happened to me,
It'll blow up, man. Eventually it'll blow up. If they keep piling us on top of each other like this, you know what I'm saying? It's like anything that you keep caged up for so long, any species of animal, you know what I'm saying, that you keep caged up for so long, will fight against each other and against the oppressor. You know? So one day that's gonna happen. I hope I ain't here to see it, you know what I'm saying? But it's gonna happen.
Yeah. Right.
Man, that's all we got. The weight pile, man, and each other. You know what I'm saying? If we don't get it here, if we don't take it out right here, we're gonna take it out on each other, man. And I hope it don't come to that, you know? I hope we can all be peaceful, man, and get out of here and have peace, freedom, and money. Because that's what it's all about, man.
The sting operation, man, in Comanche County, Lawton, Oklahoma, give me 57 years. 50 just wiped me out straight off the map for nothing. 57 years for some small rock, man. You know what I'm saying? I want to know why I'm being treated like I murdered somebody, you know? They wiping us out over here for crumbs, you know? This is what Oklahoma doing. We livestock. You know what I'm saying? If you want me to really come to you like that, you know what it is. It's a politic thing, you know what I'm saying? You know, it's gonna fulfill, everything gonna blow up. Y'all, ain't nobody gonna get no rest. That's what's gonna happen. It's gonna backfire. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna blow up. You know, in here, out there, and everything. How many of these they gonna build? How many of these they gonna pack us in like we roaches, like we animals? You know what I'm saying?
I'm a tattooist by trade, so I'll always believe in what my tattoos represent. You know, I've got my SS bolts here, I've got my swastikas, you know, and, you know, I've got my lightning bolts right there on my hand, so when I shake someone's hand, they know right then and there, you know, that I'm, you know, I believe in the Aryan beliefs.
The pride and respect for you and your kind goes, that's more than just skin deep. You know, that goes way deeper than that. I'm for my own kind. That's a lot of what it's about right there. And when it comes to the day of the calling, you know, if you ain't white, you ain't right. That's just how it goes. Most of them run around here talking about slavery days. That was over 500 years ago, and none of them know nothing about it.
Yeah, they still talk about it all the time, like it was yesterday or something. When it's been gone for so long, you know.
talk about their grandmas being raped and all this by the white man. Well, I mean, I didn't do it. If I was gonna rape one, it wouldn't be black anyway. It wouldn't be nothing outside of a white.
Are you ever uptight that, you know, you're targets, you walk around with tattoos?
Yeah.
Stay uptight. That's part of being in this penitentiary.
It's just part of life. You just got to deal with it, you know. You walk around and you'll see a crowd of 20, 30, 40 blacks, you know, and you're the only white. Well, you can't just turn around and walk the other fucking direction. You got to go through them. If you go the other direction, that shows weakness.
Are you afraid that racial tension here is going to explode?
It is exploding. There isn't no doubt about it going to. It's doing it now.
What will you do if something like that happens?
I'm going to get my knife, and everybody gets within knife distance gets stabbed.
Anybody?
Anybody. Stay away from me. I want to die of old age. At age 89, I'm going to be chased out of the bedroom of a 18-year-old jealous husband, and I'm going to trip over a fence made out of crank into the street and get hit by a Budweiser truck going 80 miles an hour. That's my idea of going out.
This is visiting, and visiting is very important. Part of my program is to keep families as close to the inmates as possible. And if I can hook the mother or the wife on my side, then that gives me another shell in my artillery to get the inmate to come around.
I love you. We haven't seen you in a while.
You didn't bring baby dogs?
Yeah.
Not bad. Yeah, we've been through some rough times, ain't we, Betty?
The best. I wouldn't trade you. You've taught me things I never taught in a book.
Y'all burnt my drug lab up. Kenny said y'all throwed it right in the fire and burn it.
Well, that's where it needs to be.
Mom, there's some things in life you don't burn up.
Yes, and that's
when you
I'm
find your
doing.
son's drug lab under your house, don't burn it up.
You get
It's
rid
very
of it.
evil.
No, it ain't.
I'm broke of the habit.
You have tried and tried and tried all your life to sell drugs, and you're not going to, because you belong to the Lord Jesus. And you'll never, never, never be a drug dealer. Never in your life. And you have really tried.
Looky there. What are you doing, fella?
I feel like I already
Well, I know it. How are you?
Oh,
Hi, John.
I tell you, I really appreciate you. Bless your heart.
Well, good. We appreciate y'all too. I think it's something when we can finally get together
I do
and
too.
fix him.
Isn't that nice?
Because he needs a little work yet.
Well, I know that. And you got your work cut out for you, see. But I'll help you all I can.
Good. Well, good. That's what it's all about, isn't it? I like to think I'm good at what I do. I'm not a very good plumber or a mechanic, but I'm a damn good warden. And I am because I believe that people are basically good. I've seen what a hug can do. I've seen what a swift kick in the butt can do. So I really believe that all people are God's greatest creation. They wasn't born to be in prison, and I'm going to give them a shot for success on the streets, because that's where they need to be, raising their families.
I'm 43 years old right now. Basically, I've done already with my adult life about 22, 23 years in prison. I was into drugs. I was doing everything wrong. I mean, everybody's willing, dealing, doing drugs and doing, you know, so I says, you know, if I got to survive in this environment, I got to be badass. I've been in Santa Fe for many, many years. When the riot took place, there was about, I guess, about 1,300 packed in there like sardines. Guys that were taking this and taking this and taking this. When it happened, I mean, it's like a bomb went off inside of them. I mean, guys were already dead, and they would jump on top of them with these meat cleavers with knives, and I mean they'd run them knives through them. You could hear it going through their body and hitting the cement floor. Wow, 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 wow. They literally took a blowtorch to a guy's eye and stuck it in his eye where it actually like popped like a firecracker, and then this gray stuff starts oozing out with the blood. I believe, you know, that's the brain, you know, it's grayish color where it just oozes out. I mean, it's something. You have to see it to believe it. I've seen it, and I don't want to see it again.
You've got a yard that's supposed to have like 600 or 700 people. Now there's close to 900 here, you know, and there's a lot of tension.
Every day they're fighting out there. Eventually, it's going to become racial. Right now, it's mostly black on black gangs.
That's all night long.
But eventually, it's going to come to a white on black thing, and that's when it's going to be. That's when this thing's going to get turned out. Probably July, August, when it's real good and hot. It's going to. Or when we get moved out on the yard, that's when it's going to happen. I honestly believe that's going to happen. I believe there'll be a riot. I mean, there's just too many of us here.
You staying out of trouble?
Yeah, trying to. Need to try to get my paper.
My philosophy has been for a long time that I don't play penitentiary with them. I don't play hostages. I don't play riots. If there's a group that decides to do that, then I plan on coming in and killing them. I mean, that's just the way it is. You're not going to riot in my penitentiary. The word goes out, everybody that don't want to be involved, get to the east side of the yard. And anybody that's left standing, they're going down. It's just that simple. It's just the way it is. I have to control this prison. The system has to control. They have to respect that before they can get on to anything. Before we can get on to the drug treatment or anything, they have to know the system is going to control.
Where is this one page on here that's got the molecule of methamphetamine on it? See, like this? There's THC. Here it is right here. Right. Now there's the benzene ring, right? How are you going to bond the 2-propanone to the benzene?
I don't know. You're supposed to be explaining this to me.
Oh, well, it's a good place for a question, wasn't it?
He's the best chemist in the state of Oklahoma as far as I'm concerned. Knows what he's talking about. It's the best person to learn it from.
And you're hoping to get out and get into the chemical profession?
It's a possibility.
How frequently do you meet with your tutor?
Regularly.
Whenever he gets out of bed.
All right. Now get a case of Budweiser and start drinking the beer. You know, back whenever we had prohibition against alcohol, you could not take the people's alcohol from them. They was going to have it, and that's all there is to it. That's that way with the drug deal right now. With all the drugs that people take, you might as well let them take them if they want to, because they're going to do it. And as soon as you figure that out, the better off you're going to be. There's nothing you can do about it to stop it. You're not going to be able to keep putting people in jail. Sooner or later, it's going to bust at the seams, and you're going to say, well, hold it. We got so much of the population in jail. We're going to have to let them out so they can drive our trucks and run our factories. It's pitiful.
God give us His word to withstand the wiles of the devil. And I say no, no weapon that form against thee shall prosper.
I think we're headed down a long, scary road, and the people better realize that If they're going to try to solve this criminal justice and crime problem by building these fences bigger, we can literally cover states with prisons, no question. And it's a total dead end. There is more money to be made immediately by incarceration than there is by giving these people education. Just look what they've done to Pell Grants in the federal government. 97% of the inmates that receive a college diploma do not reoffend. And what did they do? They pulled Pell Grants. And I know people were saying, my kid didn't go to prison and they're not getting a college degree, and that guy burglarized my house and we're sending him to college, by God. Well, hell. The thing is, we don't want him to reoffend. And if they're not going to get out there, if they can't provide a living for themselves and their family, then they're going to. Human survival is the basic instinct. And all of this is strictly about resources until you get hooked on drugs. So I don't know if the country really wants me to help these people or not. And if they don't, you know, then I'll just take my knapsack and find somebody that wants what I have to offer, and this place can turn back into the gladiator school.
What's the point?
Just come down real time. You take care of it, bro. What I got here?
Mike Tyson for that motherfucker, man. Get the camera out my hand.
Time to lock down. Okay, this is No!